Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Monday. Today I'm going to be reading you a new story. And before I read a new story, I wanted to introduce you to our new unit. We are on Unit 6, our last and final unit in our OWL curriculum. Last unit, we talked about shadows and reflections. And now this unit, we're going to be talking about things that grow. Okay, so there are many things that grow on this earth, such as plants. We're going to be talking a lot about plants. We're going to be talking a lot about humans, like us. We grow every day. Okay, so there are things that we'll be talking about in each storybook, things that grow. Today, I'm going to be reading you a story about plants and vegetables, and then I will also be reading you a story on Thursday about a little boy who was young, like a baby, and he grows up to be a big boy. All right, so the story I'm going to read today is called The Ugly Vegetables. The Ugly Vegetables. That's the title, and the author is Grace Lin. All right, so I think this must be the mother and her daughter. It looks like they're starting a garden. What do you think they'll be growing in their garden? Vegetables, maybe, because it's in the title, vegetables. And I wonder if they're ugly, since she calls it ugly. We'll see. Let's find out. All right, I'm just going to show you the picture, and then I'm going to read it, okay? In the spring, I helped my mother start our garden. We used tall shovels to turn the grass upside down, and I saw pink worms wiggle around. It was hard work. When we stopped to rest, we saw that the neighbors were starting their gardens too. All right, so look over here. See the daughter and the mother? What are they holding? Yes, they are holding shovels, big shovels. And look at those little worms squirreling out of the dirt. You see that? These are good for gardens because they make the dirt better for the plants to grow. So worms are good, all right? So we don't hurt the worms or anything. They are good for growing. And you can see her neighbor over there. She lives very close by. She lives right next door. Hello, Irma, my mother called to Mrs. Krummerin. Mrs. Krummerin was digging too. She was using a small shovel, one that fit in her hand. Mommy, I asked, why are we using such big shovels? Mrs. Krummerin has a small one, because our garden needs more digging. Okay, so we see Mrs. Krummerin using a smaller one, okay? Because why is she using a smaller one? Because she's making a smaller garden. Okay? And you can see the seed packets next to Mrs. Krummerin. Looks like she's growing those little seeds right there. Looks like she's growing, I'm not too sure what it is, but those are her seed packets. I helped my mother plant the seeds, and we dragged the hose to the garden. Hi, Linda. Hi, Mickey, I called to the Fitzgeralds. They were sprinkling water on their garden with green watering cans. Mommy, I asked, why are we using a hose? Linda and Mickey are using watering cans. Because our garden needs more water. Okay, so you see that they're holding a hose? I'm sure some of you guys have a hose at home. All right, so it's like a long green one, or it's a long, it varies in colors. So everyone has a different colors hose, but it's a long thing that squirts out water. Okay, and then their neighbors over here are using watering cans. Okay, you fill them with water, and then you pour them. You feed your plants with water. Okay. Then my mother, I'm just going to show you the picture and then I'll read it, okay? Then my mother drew funny pictures on pieces of paper and I stuck them into the garden. Hello, Roseanne. My mother called across the street to Mrs. Angel Ho. Mommy, I asked, why are we sticking these paper in the garden? Mrs. Angel Ho has seed packages in her garden. Because our garden is going to grow Chinese vegetables, she told me. They are the names of the vegetables in Chinese, so I can tell which plants are growing where. All right, so you see the mommy and the daughter, that they're writing Chinese words. Let me just zoom it up for you. All right. And why is she writing Chinese words on the papers? Yes, so she remembers what kind of flower or vegetable is growing. So do you see the Chinese characters? They look very different than English words, don't they? Do you think the little girl likes the signs her mom is making? She doesn't look happy, does she? So you have Mrs. Angel Ho's over here. Her seed packages are right here, and these are in English. You got sunflowers, poppies, peonies, and marigolds. Okay, so these are the English words. And over here, she's using the Chinese characters. She's writing in Chinese words. One day, I saw our garden growing. Little green stems that looked like grass had popped out from the ground. Our garden's growing, I yelled. Our garden's growing. I rushed over to the neighbor's garden to see if theirs had grown. Their plants looked like little leaves. Mommy, I asked, why do our plants look like grass? The neighbor's plants look different. Because they're growing flowers, she said. Why can't we grow flowers? I asked. These are better than flowers, she said. Okay, so I'm going to show you on this little page first. You see these little stems? Okay, they're growing. This is a sign of growing. But these don't look like these right here. Okay, so they're the different looking stems. These stems will be growing part of vegetables. The leaves will grow out of the stems, and then voila, it's all fully grown. Well, not fully grown, but almost fully grown. Okay, so once the stem grows, the leaves will start popping out. Okay, so these are little green sprouts. Soon, all the neighbors' gardens were blooming. Up and down the street grew rainbows of flowers. Wow, look at all the beautiful gardens. Rainbows have many different colors, and so does these gardens. All these gardens have all different colors. How beautiful. I think let's turn this page. The wind always smelled sweet, and butterflies and bees flew everywhere. Everyone's garden was beautiful, except for ours. So here's the girl's garden right here. Her mom's in the garden right now. How do you think? I think the little girl wishes she has flowers too. Let's find out. Our garden was all dark green and ugly. Why didn't we grow flowers? I asked again. These are better than flowers, Mommy said again. I looked, but only saw black, purple, green vines, fuzzy, wrinkled leaves, prickly stems, and a few little yellow flowers. I don't think so, I said. You wait and see, Mommy said. All right, so you see the vines by the big leaves? These are vines. They grow very, very long. They look like green ropes, okay? Look at those big leaves too. All right, so these vegetables that they're growing look different than flowers, don't they? Yes, they do. They don't look like flowers. But let's find out what they're gonna look like. Before long, our vegetables grew. Some were big and lumpy. Some were thin and green and covered with bumps. Some were just plain icky yellow. They were ugly vegetables. Look at those vegetables. They are a little ugly with the little bumps and the icky yellow color. What do you guys think? Do you guys think they're ugly? I think they're a little ugly. Sometimes I would go over to the neighbors and look at their pretty gardens. They would show the poppies and peonies and petunias to me, and I would feel sad that our garden wasn't as nice. So you might be right. We'll find out soon. We'll find out soon if the girl feels sad because her neighbor's gardens are prettier than hers. We'll see how she feels. One day, my mother and I picked up the vegetables from the garden. We filled a whole wheelbarrow full of them. We wheeled them to the kitchen. My mother washed them, took a big knife, and started to chop them. Wow, look at those vegetables in the wheelbarrow. Do you think the girl is feeling better? Yes, I think so too. Ay-yow, she said when she cut them. She had to use all her muscles. The vegetables were hard and tough. This is xiao hu gua, Mommy said, handing me a bumpy, curled vegetable. She pointed at the other vegetables. This is xian kai. That's tong hao. And I hope I'm saying these right. This is actually in Mandarin, and Mrs. Lee speaks Mandarin. So, Mrs. Lee, I hope I'm saying these words right. All right, so she's teaching her daughter how to say the vegetables in Chinese. How great is that? When you chop things, sometimes you have to use all your muscles to chop things really hard. So that her mom, when the author said her mom went, hi-yow, she made like a loud noise so she can chop her vegetables. Does your mommy sometimes teach you guys Chinese words or even a different language? Yeah, that's what my mommy did when I was younger. She taught me a lot of Chinese words. And that's what her mommy's doing right now. I went outside to play. While I was playing catch with Mickey, a magical aroma filled the air. I saw the neighbors standing on their porches with their eyes closed, smelling the sky. They took deep breaths of air like they were trying to eat the smell. Aroma means it's a nice smell. It smells really good. I wonder where it's coming from. The wind carried it up and down the street. Even the bees and the butterflies seemed to smell the scent in the breeze. I smelled it too, and it made me hungry, and it was coming from my house. So scent is another word for smell, the scent. Okay, look at their faces. They smelled it. They smell it. Wonder what they're cooking. When I followed the smell to my house, my mother was putting a big bowl of soup on the table. The soup was yellow and red and green and pink. This is a special soup, Mommy said, and she smiled. She gave me a small bowl of it, and I tasted it. It was so good. The flavors of the soup seemed to dance in my mouth and laugh all the way down to my stomach. I smiled. Do you like it, Mommy asked me. I nodded and held up my bowl for It's made from our vegetables, she told me. Then the doorbell rang, and we ran to open the door. All right, so she used the ugly vegetables, and she made soup. How wonderful. It looks so delicious. I wonder who's at the door. Let's find out. All our neighbors were standing at the door holding flowers. We noticed you were cooking, Mr. Fitzgerald laughed as he held out his flowers. We thought maybe you might be interested in a trade. We laughed too, and my mother gave them each their own bowl of their special soup. Ooh, yummy. How nice. My mother told me what each vegetable was and how she grew it. She gave them the soup recipe and put some soup into jars for them to take home. I ate 5 bowls of soup. Wow, she was hungry, huh? She ate 5 bowls of soup. It was the best dinner ever. How awesome. Everyone likes the soup, don't they? Seems like they're having a good time. The flowers are on the table, the soup. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Look at this little boy. The next spring, when my mother was starting her garden, we planted some flowers next to the Chinese vegetables. Mrs. Krummerin, the Fitzgeralds, and the Angel Host planted some Chinese vegetables next to their flowers. Soon the whole neighborhood was growing Chinese vegetables in their gardens. Up and down the street, little green plants poked out the ground. Some looked like leaves and some looked like grass. And when the flowers started blooming, you could smell in the air. Wow, how great. So everyone was growing ugly vegetables, and their neighbors were growing vegetables, and some of them were growing flowers. And how awesome is that? How colorful. That's what I love about springtime, because that's when the flowers are coming out, and people are making, soup, and you could just smell all that great fresh air in the sky. So I have some of these Chinese words right here. And like I said, I wish Mrs. Lee read this. If Mrs. Lee was here right now, she would be reading you guys these words. But let me just try my best, okay? Kai. All right, that's kai, and it has the Chinese words. Kong Xin Kai. Okay, that's what it looks like. Xian Kai. That's what it looks like. Zhu Kai. I hope I'm saying these right. And if I'm not, I'm sorry. I'm trying. Tong Hao. Okay. There's the Chinese characters right here. Xiu Ho Gua. Six Gua. Ku Gua. Fu Lu Fu. All right. So those are the Chinese vegetables. And I will be giving you guys your work for the week. You guys will be getting this, the Unit 6, just to explain to Mommy and Daddy what to expect and some activities that you guys can do. All right, and make sure you guys send me pictures if you can of you doing these activities. There's a lot of activities that you guys can do. Also, you guys will be getting this worksheet. It's called Living Things That Grow. You'll see some pictures on this side. You're gonna cut these ones out and you're gonna glue them and match them to what it will grow into. So this little puppy, what will this puppy grow into? Correct. The puppy will grow into the dog. So you're going to cut that out and glue it right next to there. Okay? And then the last thing you're going to get is a journal writing. The Ugly Vegetables journal writing. You're going to write your name. Okay? The Ugly Vegetables by Grace Lynn. And it says, I will cook blank with my vegetables. So you will be getting some Chinese words. And I would like for you guys to write them in Chinese. I think that would be awesome if you guys could. So here are some of the cards that you will be getting. This one is corn, cucumber, soup. Okay, so I would like for you guys to try to write the Chinese word, the Chinese character right here, and then you can write the word, the English word. Okay, and then you will draw the picture, or you can draw a picture of what you would cook. All right, that would be so, so delicious. And I got beans and lettuce, rice, okay? And then maybe I can ask Mrs. Lee that if she could make us a video to say how she can say these Chinese words, and maybe you can say it with her. How fun would that be? Yeah, that would be so much fun. And I think Mrs. Lee would say, of course. All right. So thank you for watching and reading with me today and reading The Ugly Vegetables. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Don't forget to watch Mrs. Castaneda and Mrs. Lee's video, okay? All right. I will see you guys on tomorrow's Zoom. Love you. Bye.